You're listening to Girls with Grafts, a burn community podcast created by Phoenix Society for Burn Survivors, a leading nonprofit dedicated to supporting the burn community. In this podcast, we'll talk with burn survivors, share resources to help with supporting and improving burn recovery, and discuss how to prevent burn injuries. Here are your hosts, burn survivors and Phoenix Society's marketing team, Amber Wilcox and Rachel Kudlak.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Girls with Grafts. I am Rachel Kudlak. I'm one of the hosts of the show, and today I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Amber Wilcox.
Hey there. How's your week going?
It's going well. The holidays are some of my favorite times of the year.
Yes.
And we're about there, and I am ready to just be with family and friends and eat and relax.
I ate so much food over Thanksgiving that I can't look at another set of stuffing ever again. So I agree with you. My husband and I, our favorite thing to do around the holidays is to get in the car with hot chocolate or a drink or something and drive around and look at Christmas lights. And so we have been on impromptu Christmas light, and now Crew is with us, and he has just started to learn to look at the different lights and comment on them. And last night we're in the car and he's like, "Mom," I was like, "Oh, those are gorgeous." And he's like, "Gorgeous, Mom." So he's very he's 2, but he's very very excited to look at the lights too. So yes, it's my favorite. We have Christmas, meeting Santas, all the things on our calendars as well.
Oh, that's
anyway,
awesome.
With that said, yeah, it's such a beautiful time of year. If you celebrate Christmas and you'd like to do that, I highly recommend just getting in the car after it goes dark and finding the best Christmas displays. And we put a little Christmas music on and just ride around and look at the lights. Okay, so today's podcast is powered by Johnson Controls. We love Johnson Controls. They're a global leader in fire safety and suppression technologies, helping to save lives and protect people around the world. So you can learn more about Johnson Controls by visiting their website, www.johnsoncontrols.com. And with that, I'm very excited for today's special guest, Rachel. I don't know Lovely, but I do absolutely love her name. So we are going to bring her onto the show today. Can you give her a warm introduction for us?
Yes, so Lovely Bruce is a 19-year-old Alabama native and student at the Alabama State University. She dreams of becoming a book writer, motivational speaker, and social media influencer. At the age of 6, she survived a backyard fire that resulted in third-degree burns covering 40% of her body. That life-changing experience shaped who she is today, teaching her resilience, faith, and the power of speaking with purpose. As a burn survivor, Lovely is passionate about advocating for the burn community, spreading awareness, and helping others embrace their true selves. She loves encouraging people to find strength in their stories and to see their scars, whether physical or emotional, as reflections of endurance and hope. So thank you so much, Lovely, for joining us today.
Thank you all so much for this amazing opportunity once again. I appreciate you all so much.
It's so great to meet you. Like I said, I really love your name. When I saw it come through, Rachel sends the request over to me. I was like, oh my gosh, what a lovely name. So to get us started, we always ask our survivors to tell us a little bit about their stories in their own words. So I know Rachel just mentioned a little bit about what happened, but if you could go through that with those that are listening today, and if you're willing, we would absolutely love that.
Yeah, of course. So at the age of 6 years old, I endured a traumatic fire accident. It was me and my brother in our backyard. My brother wanted to make marshmallows, and he was only 12 at the time, but my mom told him not to do that, to not prepare a fire by himself because he's so young. So he went and did it anyways, but he didn't understand that it would lead to something so traumatic. He ended up putting too much gasoline in the fire pit, and when he lit it, the wind actually started blowing. And when the wind started blowing, it actually blew onto me and my brother. But I got the worst end of it because my brother ended up stop, dropping, and rolling. But I was so young and I didn't expect something to happen like that. I just literally was running around screaming. So my mom ended up hearing me scream, and then she ended up putting me out. Um, and then the ambulance ended up coming. They transported me to our local hospital here in Montgomery, and they stabilized me at the local hospital, but they told my mom it wasn't much they could possibly do for such a, large amount of my body being covered with these deep burns. So they ended up having to transport me. They had to airlift me to another hospital. They actually treat and specialize in the burn survivor community because they do so much for like burn survivors. So they ended up transporting me there. I was in a drug induced coma for about 3 weeks. The doctors told my mom it was like a 50-50 chance of me not surviving or me surviving. And then after the 3 weeks, I ended up waking up, and it was just it from there.
Yeah, and kind of what was that experience like for you as a child burn survivor? And, obviously growing up and having such a major injury, and, even maybe we can talk a little bit about like the physical healing, and then we can dive a little bit more into the emotional healing as well.
Yeah, so definitely the physical part was so horrible because as a 6-year-old, you never would expect your life to like turn into something like that. And for I think me to endure that, like in the beginning, I really just was like, wow, like this really just happened. I'm literally trying to like actually understand that this really just happened to me. It was such a shocking event to actually go through. So, when I ended up waking up and coming out of my drug induced coma, it was like seeing like the nurses and all the doctors just come in and out of my room almost every day, and these surgeries happening almost every day because as I was there was like almost a surgery I think every week. um and it was just like wow, like I think during then I just really wasn't understanding it, but in the moment I think I was still in shock in a way. Because I never expected my life to go like that. Like I didn't even think that was possible for it to happen to me. So I think like it was very shocking, and I really just didn't understand it at the time of how traumatic, that truly was for a 6-year-old to go through. Um and so the healing part was definitely like it was new and it was painful and it was definitely long for a child to go through that. I mean, as a child, I feel like our attention span is already so short, but to actually have to deal with all these like non-childlike things that I'm going through, like this is crazy. And I just believe that like the bandage chain and the surgeries, the having to learn how to walk again because I wasn't walking for such a while, and like the back of my leg got such a bad burn on it. It was like I had to relearn how to walk and so many other things, and it was just all so new but also shocking for me. I would definitely say that part for the physical part.
Yeah. Yeah, and thanks for sharing all of that with us. But, how did, your burn injury really kind of influence the way you saw yourself growing up, like with your confidence and your identity and just, that I'm a childhood burn survivor, so I can totally relate of, the burn injury changes a lot, obviously, for your confidence and how you see yourself. So I'd love if you could share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so if at first, as you know, like I was a child, so it was all new. But I think returning back to school at that point, it was like I am the oddball out, and all the kids were just like staring at me, and like some of them that I think didn't want to really interact with me just because I looked different, and they didn't recognize the old lovely and the new lovely because I have all these garments on, my skin looks different, and it was a lot. So I think at first I had to go through definitely a process of accepting myself because people around me didn't really accept me for who I am, after the accident. And, going back to school, I think it did mess with my self-esteem a little bit because I'm the only one who looks like this. I'm the only one who's going through this. All the other kids are like playing, having so much fun, and I'm just like in pain with all these different garments on, and with my leg not healing all the way. It was so much. But definitely I think going back to my normal life, interacting with kids, it played a big part of my self-esteem. But eventually middle school and high school came. Definitely high school is when my self-esteem really got impacted, and it was very different because I'm with older kids now, and older kids are not always the nicest. And so I think like going through that as a teenager became even worse on me, because there are these teenagers that don't understand how their words are really impacting me, or what they say to me, how it's making me feel. So it really became like such a horrible thing at that point for me. Like I didn't want I wish it never happened to me at that point. Like I was so sad because I just wanted people to accept me, but they didn't. Um but sometime after high school is when I really started developing that self-confidence and that self-esteem that I wish I always had. It was finally the point where I was like, okay, if I don't accept myself, who's going to accept me? And
Mm.
it was like, that's when I realized I have to love myself before I can expect love from anybody else. And I finally poured into myself and realized, Lovely, you are so beautiful inside and out, regardless of other people's validation and regardless of how other people have treated you. There's nothing wrong with you. You can't go back in time and change what happened. So you got to accept yourself, because you're going to continually go through this cycle of feeling so hopeless, so insecure. You're going to feel so many things that are negative, and you don't want that for your adult life. Like you don't want that. So I had to change my mindset around it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did you get to a place where you felt like you could accept? Was it something you did some inner reflection on, or was it something that um you just decided to, like, seek help? How did you get there?
So definitely, I think I just got tired of that repetitive state of feeling so insecure of myself. I'm like, how can I change this? Um, and I was already developing this on my own, but I ended up getting like counseling for it. And the counseling really helped me like change my mindset around it, because the coping mechanism she was giving me, she was like, some things that you just say, they're kind of made up in your head. Like nobody says this about you. You're kind of letting your insecurities bleed out on people. And I was like, that is what I'm doing. Like some things people never said to me, and I just assume they're thinking that of me. And it becomes like this social anxiety thing. And I'm just like, I realized so much in myself that it was sometimes created on my own, but also just having that expectation that people are going to accept me. I had this expectation in my head that was false. Like not everybody's going to be accepting to you. So the first thing you have to do is accept yourself and be comfortable with yourself, because you're going to depend on other people's validation your whole life. That's not ideal. You don't want to have to depend on other people for your happiness. So it was the point of me getting tired of feeling that way. It was me seeking the help that I needed, and honestly just coming to the conclusion of not wanting to I don't want to depend on anybody for my happiness or my self-esteem.
So
Mhm.
let's talk a little bit about like what it's so funny. We had a live conversation yesterday, and we talked a lot about how we're not always live, right? Sometimes we do records. And so yesterday we did do a live stream with Ketchy, and Ketchy was talking something similar, right? She mentioned how like she has learned to come to that acceptance, but also like we talked a lot about social media, and like people are going to say mean things, right? They're going to. That's like, we're human. We're not always not everyone is very nice, and we try to lead with kindness, right?
Right.
But I'm sure you've had some mean comments, right? And I'm sure we can talk about some of those. But um, how do you approach that now? Like, I'm sure it still happens, right? Especially when your scars are visible. I am blessed with the opportunity to be able to hide them, but not everybody has that. So I want to talk for a moment, because that unfortunately does happen. So um, can you talk a little bit about maybe some of the, what you've heard, or you don't have to mention specific comments, but and how you approach that today?
Oh yeah, so definitely when I was younger, like I tried making this like YouTube channel. I don't know if you guys like like when a kid tries to make this YouTube channel, tries to go viral. I was like one of those kids. I wanted to be like social media famous. And I was like, I'm gonna start
Sure.
making videos. And at that point I really didn't expect people to be that mean to me, but there were some very ugly comments. Like somebody was like, oh, I don't understand how your mom loves you when you look like that.
That's horrible.
Yeah, they were like, your face, like it's so ugly. Like they would always say these like rude things regarding like my scars, and also like the fact that they felt like I was ugly, or like they didn't understand how my family loved me when I looked so ugly, or I looked like this or looked like that. And they're like, I posted like recently like this body confidence picture with like a like two-piece on, just showing my scars. Most of the comments were very positive, but I did have like some very like negative comments. They're like, what did someone say? Like, they just had such ignorance. Like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know if I can say the things that they said on here, but it was like very just gross, like gross comments, like regarding, because I have scars on my chest and like near my leg area. So they were just saying negative comments around that area. So it was just like, oh my gosh, like people are just so ignorant sometimes, and it's just
They
horrible.
are.
Yeah.
And how do you approach that? Do you respond to them? Do you ignore that? What do you do when that happens?
I just feel like it's no point of like responding to it, because what if I'm feeding into the negativity, then what? Like, what else is there to like,
Absolutely.
there's nothing else to pour into that. Like, if you've already planted your negative seed, I'm not going to water that. I'm not going to cause you to have any growth around me. So I'm just going to let you sit there and be your negative seed. And I'm going to go plant
Yeah.
my positive
I
seed.
love that.
Yeah. So I just choose not to bother with it or acknowledge it in any way, because when you acknowledge things like that, people are going to keep going, keep going, keep going. But if you let them get bored of it, they're going to like reflect on themselves. Like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. You know, they feel kind of stupid after that. So I just let them sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what Ketchy mentioned of how in this particular, right, like when she gets those negative comments, like not giving the energy to that, but providing, either letting, 9 times out of 10, and I've seen it on other forums too, like I'm on a lot of other platforms, and there's a mom group that I'm in, and I feel like anytime anyone says anything like crazy, like moms are crazy, and like the mom groups will come after like the negativity, right? And I think it's the same in the sense of like the survivors or family and friends will come to their defense regardless. So just avoiding putting my energy on that, number one. But Keji said, like, they're gonna look dumb, right? Like at the end of the day, you're gonna look like the negative person. And so I think, yes, like social media, sometimes when we give more energy to the things that don't need to have energy to it, it only is fueling that person. Like they're there because they want the attention and they want the negativity. And so just by ignoring it, it's not giving them a voice. So I do love that you say that. And I think that's really important for those that are listening to remember, like at social media, like it does take a lot of bravery to put yourself out there. And you have to understand that, like, when you're doing that in a public setting, which you're invoking, you're going to get comments from everyone, right? It's not just going to be like, so expect that there might be some level of negativity, and it doesn't matter what you put out, right? Like sometimes that may happen, but I think it's not putting the energy and being your authentic self, putting that energy into the things that help are positive, not negative. So I really like that you've mentioned that as well.
Yes.
So I understand that you went to World Burn. Is that how you and Rachel met?
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't know that, and that's why I'm like, I always ask Rachel ahead of time, like, who is this person? Where did we get their story from and whatnot? And so you guys met at World Burn. Was it your first time at World Burn?
Oh my goodness, yes, it was.
Okay, and so tell me a little bit about your experience was like, maybe how you and Rachel connected. I would love to hear a little bit more about that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk about World Burn, because that, like, I'm still so happy about that encountering with all the amazing people.
Awesome.
So yeah, I was able to go to World Burn. My social worker at my hospital in Shriners, she was telling me about like different ways to get interaction with other survivors and different communities like that. And she mentioned World Burn, and I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds so amazing. And she was able to like get me a donor and everything. It was amazing. I went, and I did not expect to see so many amazing people, and that like the way like it was just so many people. Like I think that was definitely the largest gathering of survivors I've ever been to, and for it to be so many people, yet you've made so many connections. Like it poured so much into me, and I think like the best thing I got out of it was just knowing that I have a community a community of people that are willing to reach out and talk about different things we've been through and just make that connection. You know, when you've survived something so traumatic, or even if you just went through it, to be able to have somebody that you relate to, it just means so much. Like, community means so much to me. And when I went there and I just saw so many other people that relate to me, it just like my heart just like opened up, because I'm just like, wow, like this is literally, I'm here for a purpose. Like, I'm here to connect with other people that have been through what I've been through. I'm here to finally like have that community that I've always wanted. It was just truly so amazing. Like, that was definitely, and that was my first adult survivors like gathering. I've never like, I've always went to like the kid camps and stuff like that. But like at the time I was 19, I'm 20 now. I just turned 20 a few days ago. But like having that adult experience as a survivor, it just meant a lot. Like, I know that I have a family now.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
happy birthday.
Yes. Well, and lovely too. I can relate to that because I was going to camps, my entire childhood. And then I don't know if you experienced this. When I went to my first Phoenix World Burn Congress as an adult, I wasn't expecting to have so many emotions.
Yes.
I guess like I was like, oh, I've been around burn survivors like every summer growing up. I'm like seeing I don't know what it was. I just thought like, oh, I was going to be more okay. And I was so many years out from my injury at that point. And then, yep, it was not okay that first year.
No, I definitely was so emotional. Like, oh my gosh. I literally was crying. I did not expect to cry. I'm like, what? I never cry about things like this. Like, because I'm so used to it. Like, that just like made me remember, like, I thought I would be okay because I'm like, I'm so used to it. But then as I was hearing people tell their stories, I was like, I'm like, hold on, my eyes getting a little watery. Like, I'm literally about to cry in here because the resilience that survivors carry, the things that we've been through, it's just like to be able to have so much strength and resilience, and you wouldn't be able to tell the things that they've been through because they carry themselves so strongly. So like, and it was just like so amazing to see that. And obviously I have it in myself, but to see it on other survivors, like, it was just such an eye opener. I'm just like, wow, like, you went through that. Yeah, I wouldn't have never known, because you carry yourself so like with a strong manner. Like, it's so amazing. Definitely, I loved World Burn. Like, that was amazing.
Was there like a particular moment or speaker or session that really like stood out to you at the conference?
Yes, definitely. It was definitely the one where everyone had the chance to speak about their stories. Or even just like the personal one-on-one parts where you're in the hotel, you go and see another survivor, and the conversation sparks. And just having those like one-on-one conversations, like the little things like that, that's what really like brought me, because these connections that you're making just by like having a conversation starter, like seeing a scar on somebody and being like, oh hey, like, I'm a survivor too. And it's just like, I think those bonds that just came and like just fruition into something so beautiful, it just means so much. Like, I still am in contact with most of the survivors that got like my contact information today. Like, I still talk to them today. So it's like, these bonds, they're gonna be like for a lifetime. Like, these aren't just like one of those things that you just see that person, that's it. Like, you have the opportunity to actually make that connection and allow it to still like grow, because you have their contact information. So it was just amazing, like those one-on-one conversations, and definitely like the one where we were able to tell our stories. Like, that was amazing.
Yeah, I know anytime I make, or we've talked about this before on the show, like anytime I see anyone out in public, like I'm always like want to run up and like start talking to them. And I feel like sometimes, right, they like the reception may not always be the way that
Yeah.
I have. So, but yes, I feel like in those types of settings, if you've been on a retreat or whatnot, like sparking conversation. Tyler and I have met some amazing people through like, right, these support groups and whatnot. And they always just become great friends, right? Like it doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily have to be that every time we meet, we talk about trauma.
Yeah.
I know we just recently went to Disneyland, and Carlos, who's been a close friend of mine since the beginning, like every time we go out there, like we don't really talk, right? A lot, but if we go out to his state, we always go out and visit him. And I feel like they've become part of your family where like you may not be close every day, but when you're in the area, you like are always like, hey, let's connect. And it doesn't like I think we rarely talk about scars, right? When we connect, but it's like the fact that we both have been through a shared experience
Mhm.
that gives us like that close bond, and the fact that like we don't have to talk about our scars to always feel like we're connected. And I think the same applies to like Rachel and I, right? Like Rachel and I are very close, and we don't always talk about our burn injuries, but we've had a similar experience. And I feel like when you share that experience, it just gives that extra set of empathy that the person that you're talking to can understand what you've been through at some point. So
Definitely.
completely understand that. Well, it sounds like you had a great time. I want to switch gears a little bit and just I want to understand a little bit about like what you're kind of hoping to accomplish in the next coming years in terms of I know you said you're on social, I understand, and you like to share your story on social. Tell me a little bit more about like how you want to impact through either writing, speaking, or what you're doing on social media to try to right like continue to spread the word about your message as a survivor.
Yeah, so definitely. I'm like I said, I'm in college. I'm majoring in communication,
Very cool.
just thank you, and just to allow that the dreams that I have to be more broad with the degree that I get in communications. I definitely hope to become a public speaker, a motivational speaker. I want to eventually write books regarding my life as a survivor, what I've been through, how I overcome it, how I live my life today, different things like that. Definitely more speaking engagements. And hopefully eventually start my own podcast. I definitely just want to be able to be that person that people can look at and just say, if she overcame, I know that I can too. And to be able to have a platform where people feel safe to come to my like platform and be like, oh my gosh, like I feel so comfortable being here. Like she shows her scars, she talks about it. Like I want people to feel safe when they watch me or hear me speak. I don't want people to ever like feel like there's nobody they can relate to, because it was the people that I saw on social media as a kid that inspired me. Like different survivors just being on social media and being confident in themselves, that's who helped me. And I want to be able to, you know, carry that same weight of being that inspiration that people can see on social media, or anywhere, honestly. So I definitely hope to eventually have a larger platform and eventually write my own books and speak at different engagements, and just hopefully just be that person that people can see and feel inspiration by.
I love that. And we'll make sure that we have, if you want to send me your links, lovely, after this, we'll make sure we have all those in our show notes too for folks who want to follow you and keep up with all the wonderful things you're doing. But, you know, I'm sure you do this a lot. And I know, I think I follow you, we're friends on Facebook, and I know what photo you were talking about earlier. But what, I guess, like, what's like one key piece of advice or like a tip you'd want to share with a survivor who, you know, either wants to share their story online or, you know, even just posting photos can be a big challenge, whether you don't even want to necessarily be an influencer, but, you know, just showing your scars in photos can be a big challenge. So maybe what's some advice you'd share with them?
I would say like it took me definitely a great amount of time to get that secure of myself, and just like I was speaking about accepting myself, it took me to the point where I accepted myself, and then I was able to share my story so broadly and be able to take pictures like that and show my scars. You first, I would say, the advice I would say, you first have to accept yourself first, and that comes with accepting who you are today, accepting that some people will possibly have some negative things to say, because regardless if you had scars or not, people are still going to say, you know, negative things, just because there are people like that in the world. um and eventually just like taking a leap of faith. Like if you are just in this state of mind, which I also was, like, I was scared to like take that leap and like actually just say, okay, I'm gonna do it. You have to take that leap of faith because you don't know who's gonna see it. You don't know who's gonna feel inspired by you just getting out of your own comfort zone. Don't allow your own comfort zone um to make somebody else not be able to be healed, because seeing you will be able to allow them to have some sort of healing. People will feel healed just because they see you and so much confidence in you. And so I would definitely just say, like, accepting yourself, taking that leap of faith, and coming to terms with that you have to get out of your own comfort zone. Like, you sometimes have to do that to allow growth to happen, and that's exactly what I did. Like, the picture on my Instagram has 100,000 likes, and I didn't even expect that. I only have like a couple thousand. I did not expect that over, because the views, it's 3.5 million, but I didn't even expect that many people to see it. And me being confident enough to get out of my own comfort zone is what allowed that to happen. If I was just being so scared, it wouldn't have happened. And so many DMs have come in and said, like, wow, like, I feel so inspired by you. I feel like I'm able to show my scars now. And that holds so much weight in my heart, because this is exactly what I want to do. So I would just say, take that leap of faith. You don't know who you're gonna help.
Yeah, no, that's so
Absolutely.
awesome though. It is crazy how like one photo can get, so much traction and attention. And
Yes.
like you said, even if it doesn't, and you help one person. I know we were just talking about this, Amber, but like the goal of our podcast is to help, one person, learn skills, feel better, like just get encouragement. So, whether you're helping thousands or just a few, it really does matter.
Exactly. I was just happy that somebody saw it, and it just got so much more. And I was like, wow, like, this is crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about your faith? I know you share a lot about faith in your social media platforms. Let's talk a little bit about like what brought you to your faith and maybe why it's so important to you.
So yeah, it was just a point in time where I just felt like I was doing everything else to fulfill me. And I tried to use different things to fulfill me, and those things did not work. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I cannot keep doing this. I feel so empty afterwards, and the things I'm doing is just not helping me at all. So I started like getting closer to God, and I started feeling that fulfillment that I wanted, like the things that I was seeking in other things. Like, God was the exact fulfillment that I always looked for. And I would also like try to feel loved by doing things that didn't bring love to me. And I found God, and it was like, that's all the love that I ever needed. Um, and of course, like, regarding my accident, like, seeing how I was able to survive a thing that wasn't seeing how I survived something that actually wasn't supposed to survive, just seeing that, God was there with me, and how I'm able to use the testimony that he's given me to help others. It just I just see like all these things are just connecting with each other, like the accident, me helping other people, and the way I just feel so fulfilled by doing it all. I just feel like, the grace that God has just given me, it just, everything that he's doing for me is just such a blessing. So I think definitely like the things that I was seeking with is what led me to God. And just seeing how I was able to go back like and see my accident and how I survived it, I just knew that like that was no coincidence. Like, that definitely was just God's hand upon me. And honestly, my faith is like really big to me, because it's like, if I was continually seeking the things in this world, I probably just wouldn't have been on a good path. And to see that I found God and I'm on such a better path now, I know that that wasn't me, because I was not doing well, but I'm doing so much better now. And I just know that that's God's hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm just curious too. It's obviously different for everyone, and whether it's faith-based or not, I think every survivor and even caregiver can relate to that feeling of like, why me? Like, why did this happen to me? Be angry, whether it's at God, at life, or someone or something.
Definitely.
So what I don't necessarily like want to know, like, I guess, like how long, but like how was that like time period for you? And like I know we talked a little bit of like that confidence building, but how did you get from to the point, I guess, today that you can see it and see it as a positive, I guess that's something that positively happened in your life versus being angry and upset?
Yeah, I think it also kind of came with that period in time where I was like, I'm gonna accept myself, because it was like it kind of all linked for me. Like when I accept myself, I'm like, okay, I gotta find like I'm going to find some type of acceptance of myself. I'm gonna accept what happened to me. I'm gonna accept who I am, and that came a part of what, like, trusting God, like seeing my accident, as a child, and how I'm a young adult now, just seeing the amazing things I'm able to do because of the accident, because that I have a testimony now. I'm able to go out and do so much just based off of my testimony and helping others with it, but also being inspired myself by other survivors. I think just honestly accepting myself, and when I saw the light in it, I was like, that there's got to be some type of positivity about this. And when I finally did gotta get out of my comfort zone and use my testimony in such a light, I was like, wow, like this is impacting me. And I just saw God's hand upon it. Like, no way I'm able to tell my testimony and people get so much inspiration by it. And I know that's just not me. It's literally God. Like, so I definitely just believe that when it came with me accepting myself and just finding the light in it. Like, you got to find the light in some sort of way. And that was my life.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, we are coming up on time here, but I wanted to ask two final questions that we always ask, that hopefully you can share with us. The first, and I know you've really kind of touched on this already, but what continues to give you hope every day? Maybe if you're struggling with something, like how do you find hope?
Oh my goodness, I just did an essay about this in school, but
Very cool.
I'm gonna tell you, my reasoning, but I just would say going back and looking at all the traumatic things I've endured, and not just the things centered around my accident, but the things I've been through as an adult, as a young adult, and as a teenager, and as a child. I had the opportunity to look back at those past situations and saw how I was able to get through all of those situations. And now that I know, if I am going through something right now, that I'm able to endure it and get through it as well. And so I think, like, looking at everything I've been through and just being inspired by the fact that I had resilience through it all, just having that hope that everything will always work out regardless of how it goes, whether it's going right, going wrong, I know that I'll get through it. So just that mindset of having the fact that I'm confident that things will still go the way I need them to go, regardless of what they may look like.
That's amazing. And it's so fun that you got to write a college paper on it. Well, it is time for our final question, which is our Phoenix partner question today, sponsored by Johnson Controls. So their question is, what do you hope someone listening to your story feels or learns today?
I hope, and I really hope that you all feel truly inspired. I hope that I was able to say something that stuck out to you, that just made you feel that leap of faith to step out and be confident in who you are today. I really hope that you are able to become the person that you dream of becoming. And I truly hope that everything works out for you, regardless of where you are in your survivor journey.
That's beautiful. Well, we genuinely appreciated you joining and providing just such a wonderful outlook, to all of our listeners. And like we mentioned, we'll be sure to put all of your social handles and information if you want to connect with Lovely, who was just a lovely addition to our podcast. So we greatly appreciate it.
Thank you all so
I'm going to
much.
continue to use that pun, by the way, because
Oh
I
my
really like it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. And wish everyone a very happy holidays if we don't get to connect with them before the new year.
Yes, you guys have an amazing day.
You
Thank
as well.
you too.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Girls with Grafts. If you are enjoying this content, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. This helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.